Well, divorce can bring a range of emotions, and if kids are involved, it can cloud your judgment and make things even more complicated. So here with advice for navigating divorce and co-parenting is attorney and founder of Moore Family Law Group, Holly J. Moore. So thanks so much for being here. All right, let's first start with this. What are some common factors that can lead to disagreements in child custody cases?
Oh my gosh. Well, first, thank you so much for having me. Child custody can be a very emotionally charged situation. So many different factors, difference in parenting styles, kids sort of manipulating their parents, sort of, dividing and conquering, if you will. So many different things can really lead to a lot of disagreement in custody situations.
So how should parents approach resolving disputes over parenting decisions?
So I think what makes the most sense is a common sense approach of like how significant is this issue? And the way I explain it to my clients is using the 5-5-5 rule. Is it going to matter in 5 minutes, 5 months, or 5 years? If it's not going to matter in 5 minutes, then it's really not worth spending any sort of effort, energy, or resources on. If it's something that may be significant in 5 months, maybe that's something that you want to address with the other parent or with your attorney to see what can be done. If it's something that is going to matter in 5 years, then absolutely that's worth taking a stand on, possibly even litigating that issue and really trying to see that through to the best that you can.
Okay, that's great advice. So let's talk about the situations where it might be necessary to involve the court in co-parenting disputes.
Sure. So, one example of, it's very fact specific, but one example could be, let's say, one party isn't checking homework of an elementary school aged child the way the other parent thinks they should be. That would be a situation where maybe you address it with the other parent. Maybe you bring that to your lawyer. Maybe your lawyer writes a letter to see if something can be done. Maybe we can have some sort of agreement around that issue. I would say that that's within the context of like, maybe this is going to matter in 5 months. But some of the bigger issues that are significant that are more of like the 5-year types of issues, those would be medical care. Is the child going to be getting certain vaccines or not? Educational decisions is this child going to go to public school or private school? Things of that nature are really where the energy should be spent, the effort should be spent, and the money to litigate it if that's the way the parties are choosing to handle it.
So what do you say is the crucial element for fostering a harmonious co-parenting relationship?
Well, absolutely. Just always having the best interest of the kids at heart, which of course is easier said than done when you've got two parents who maybe don't get along anymore. They're certainly not in a romantic relationship anymore. But what happens is a lot of times because of the dynamics of the relationship, or maybe the history, the water under the bridge, if you will, with that relationship, sometimes your judgment gets a little bit clouded. And so I think, your attorney is a great sounding board for like, is this in the best interest of the kids, or is this just something where it's really bugging me that the other parent is doing? And that's really the issue. It's really not something for the kids. So the best recipe is just always be looking out for what is in the best interest of the kids, putting your own interest aside and your own sort of issues maybe with the other parent, and just being completely child-centric.
And I think the 5-5-5 rule could help us. So the 5 minutes, 5 months, or 5 years, how do we find these issues? Should we be proactive in thinking about things that could happen in 5 years? Or is this just the framework for thinking about issues as they arise?
I think it's more of the framework of thinking about issues as they arise and like how to handle them. Is this a hill to die on, basically? Parents, in terms of like proactively thinking about them, I mean, that's going to happen naturally. So I really think this is more of a tool of, as the issues are coming to you, like, is this the hill that I'm going to die on?
Okay. Well, I love that rule. I always like a nice framework to help control our thoughts and how we think about things. Where can we go for more information, Holly?
You can go to our website, moorefamilylawgroup.com, and that has a lot of information on there, and we're always happy to help.
Okay, perfect. Holly, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.